What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound is down 0.82%, 15.29 the low, 16.59 the high. So SoundHound's not doing all that bad. If you look at my watch list, many of the growth stocks out there are getting slapped around. So SoundHound's not doing all that bad, especially normally it's very, very volatile. So kind of stands out, and the reason why it's actually doing good is because of the kind of good volume. So I'm going to go over that in a second, but ultimately what is causing so much distress in the market is two things. One is just the data. So I know lately the markets wanted negative data to really justify future cuts, but more and more data has been coming out negative. So I think that is kind of raising some concerns. In addition to that, though, companies unveiling their earnings. And so even though many companies hit the marks for earnings per share, revenue, and many of them actually have had record numbers, but they do give lackluster future guidance. So right now, the market is only valuing companies that are giving good future guidance. So when it comes to SoundHound giving their kind of earnings per share, revenue, and whatever, it might get a pass as long as it can give good future guidance. So again, that's something to keep in mind. SoundHound hasn't disclosed the date of their earnings, so just be aware that it is estimated to be on the 28th, but still they'll have to disclose that. As of today, no actual news linking to SoundHound, no SEC filings, nothing even on social media. So it is merely just piggybacking off of the broader market. And the reason why SoundHound, as well as doing a little bit better than other stocks, is because of two things. One is a increase in institutions. So you are seeing more transactions today on the secondary market than I guess the recent couple days. So definitely something to keep in mind. Big one first thing as well, 3.81 million. And aside from that, that's the only one above 1 million. But you also do have shorts. For whatever reason, they are returning 320,000 shares. So maybe they feel that something is coming or something along those lines. I'm not really sure. But I do definitely know that for a good solid month and a bit, they have constantly increased their position time and time again. So I feel like they are doing it for some purpose. So let me know your thoughts on that. 32.34% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 106.46 million shares overall are being shorted. And you kind of see this dip right here. So they returning right here did really kickstart this kind of buying thing. So I know we don't really have to thank shorts, but they're the reason that SoundHound kind of bounced higher, and that was because of shorts. So kind of interesting how that all played out, but still, nonetheless, though, moving over to options, 6.16 million in calls, 2.12 in puts. 47% of all the options being done today are optimistic in nature. And I cover quite a few different stocks, different YouTube channels. That also is very abnormal. So most of the options today are rather bearish. So to see obviously some bullishness and also shorts at the same time returning some shares, it kind of makes you question what is coming. I know I brought it up in my video yesterday, a very speculative topic about McDonald's, but still I think it goes to show maybe something is coming. And like I mentioned about that S3, so that shelf offering, which is good for 3 years, 500 million, I think that is really going to be used for a acquisition, because if you look back at SoundHound, they've done a lot of acquisitions. That seems to be their kind of thing that they do, and so far it's worked out fairly well for them. So I think there might be something maybe from their earnings that they do announce, but nonetheless, even though you are seeing a little bit of an increase in the common stock options, you are seeing rather low volume. So 8.3 million in total premiums. Yesterday, 14.6. Day prior was 20.4. And quickly moving over here, so of the call options that are being purchased, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $17.50 to $18 range. And then the bears are anticipating for it to be sub roughly around that $15 range. So there is still a lot more upside anticipated based on everything. With it right now at 15.72, market's going to be closing in roughly 40 minutes, but with it at 15 and change, is trading right now above this R2. So 15.72 will be a key support that you really want to watch for it to hold for the rest of today, as well as going into tomorrow. 15.10 is going to be the next strong following support. 16.74 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. Kind of touched that general area, but not this exact one exactly. So just take note of that as well going forward. No actual articles, nothing really kind of talking about anything other than their technicals. A lot of articles just go over like summarizing technicals and whatever else, but hopefully there's more operational updates that do come out. But aside from that as well, no new analyst ratings. So last ones were roughly 2 weeks ago or something, or 24 days ago. So hopefully from their earnings, again, you'll see a little bit of an increase. I have been monitoring just to see if there's any changes for the earnings per share, still set at that -10 cents. And then for the revenue, you are seeing roughly 33.72 million, and that is based on 6 analysts. So pretty good stuff as far as that. As of right now, it is fighting and staying above that 50-day moving average. So that is a very big point to really watch for on the technicals. If it does break below that, then historically it kind of causes a little bit of a retracement, but so far SoundHound is defying the market. So I don't think anyone's going to complain about that. But the only negative, as I've mentioned with SoundHound, is the fact that it is rather overbought. And many stocks are like that, nothing really crazy, but first sign of weakness, you will see some consolidation. And that weakness doesn't actually have to come from SoundHound itself. It could come from just on a larger scale macro standpoint. So let me know your viewpoint on all of that. One thing to bring up as far as tomorrow, you have non-farm payroll as well as unemployment. So if unemployment does come in hotter than anticipated, then you will most likely see the market really freak out, because then you'll have the jolt numbers, this one right here, so the initial jobless claims and also unemployment, all somewhat signaling negative data. And that's what Powell ultimately said that he is going to be watching, is the labor data and whatever. So yeah, it's a fun time. I think if you are investing in SoundHound, you have to think bigger picture regardless. A lot of my videos, as I always say, is usually just kind of what's affecting it right now, what might affect it tomorrow, and so forth. But if you believe in a bigger picture, then definitely have at it and buy the dip, do what you need to do. So let me know your viewpoint on SoundHound. Are you buying? Are you selling? Do you think that there is any potential news coming out that they have planned? Or do you think they're just going to go kind of radio silent up until their earnings, which might be at the end of the month or whatever? But one thing as well, I do want to get your kind of thoughts on, why do you think shorts are returning? Is there something that they know that other people maybe might not? Or do you think that's something, I don't know, kind of curious, especially I've been covering SoundHound for a while now, and shorts generally don't do this. But aside from that, one final thing, pop over to my Discord, completely free. A lot of good people to kind of chat with about stocks, options, and everything. Take a look at that in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.